Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Leaders of Tomorrow podcast. My name is Andres Concha, your host, and the following conversation is with one of the most impressive human beings I have ever had the chance to meet. I'm talking about Vicente Fox, former truck driver turned farmhand, turned Coca-Cola CEO, and finally, and most impressive of all, President of Mexico. The fact that he was willing to have this sit down with me, despite it being my first ever podcast, speaks volumes of his character. And I would deeply appreciate if you go and check out his page to learn all of the incredible things he's doing with Centro Fox and Crisma with his lovely wife, Doña Marta. I'd like to extend a thank you to his team for making this possible, in addition to my sponsors, Staffing Abroad and Elite Recruiter, for powering this podcast. Lastly, a huge thank you goes out to Sartori Amici for keeping me dressed nicely throughout all of these interviews. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later. Mr. President Fox, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I'm honored.
My pleasure.
Seriously.
Welcome to Mexico.
Mexico has been incredible.
Place.
I love it. I was here for one day and I'm already madly in love with this place. Seriously. I'm very happy to be here. So that's why he's the only president that has not left Mexico. He's truly about it.
You can understand that.
Yeah, 100%. So was there any desire to ever go to the United States?
Because I don't have any regrets. I don't have any preoccupation about the honesty, the transparency of my government.
Right.
So I'm here because I love this place and because I'm very proud of having been president of Mexico.
I mean, I cannot blame you. My dad's wife is from Mexico and she's incredible. We have such an amazing culture. And as someone from Los Angeles, I'm very familiar. I live in Miami now, but Los Angeles is mostly Mexican Latino. So It's a very special, familial place. Did you ever consider moving out of Mexico or were you always happy to be here?
No. I would never leave the farm where I was raised and born, San Cristobal.
Right.
It's like gone with the wind. That love you have for your home, that love you have for your community, your place. And I belong there, and I enjoy the family, 9 brothers and sisters.
That's crazy.
And everything is fantastic there in the state of Guanajuato, where we have these 2 beautiful cities, mostly visited by foreigners, Americans, Europeans, that come and go to Guanajuato, which is the state capital. Something like you see in New Mexico, Santa Fe.
Oh my goodness,
the
I love
capital. Yeah, well, Guanajuato is better.
Really?
So you will doubly love it. And San Miguel de Allende, our star city, known everywhere in the world, with many, many Europeans and Americans living there or staying there for the summer, running out of the cold of the north. And so 2 great cities worthwhile visiting. We have an international airport right there in León, Guanajuato. A lot of non-stop flights to many cities in United States, starting with LA.
Of course,
and many others, Houston, Dallas, Chicago, and else and else.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I wanted to take a second to actually talk about your time on La Hacienda. That's a crazy upbringing. So you were the second in 9 brothers and sisters, correct?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me a little bit about what life looked like for you back then? Like what was a day in the life of yourself?
Well, maybe the best way to describe it is a football game, 4 quarters.
Okay.
First quarter at home, in a school, nourishing and learning from my dad, from my mother, from the family.
Right.
Learning in school, getting knowledge and capacities to succeed in life. And so 16 years of that, first quarter.
Wow. Okay.
Then I moved to Mexico City, starting second quarter.
Okay.
To university, the Jesuit University in Mexico City, Iberoamericana. So I got there my MBA, and then I moved to work with the Coca-Cola company.
Right.
I started as a route salesman.
Yes.
Delivering the drink to mom and pop small stores everywhere, all around the country. And I used to carry the cases myself, two on one arm and the other two on the other arm.
Right.
So a lot of weight there, about 100 kilos.
Right. Right.
And I enjoyed it a lot. That
Yeah.
gave me an opportunity to visit most every community, every city, every state in Mexico and learn a lot about Mexico and Mexican people.
Right.
So a great time in the Coca-Cola company. So
Yeah.
that's my second quarter.
Yes.
It's university and the big corporation Coca-Cola. Then, thinking about my future, I decided to go back to the ranch. Why? Because my dream, my purpose in life is very clearly defined. It's doing for others.
Right.
All my aspiration in life is to be helpful to other human beings. That's what I learned in Jesuit school, to be for others.
Right. To
And
help other
I
people.
was not happy with what I was doing in the Coca-Cola company in that specific purpose.
Can I ask what
Then I
specifically?
went to resign with my superior, the vice president for all of Latin America, 10th Circuit, and told him I'm resigning. He said, "You're crazy. How come you're going to resign? You have a
CEO.
wonderful career here. You move upwards every year. Your future is coming to the corporate headquarters of the company." And I said, no, but I'm not getting here what is my purpose in life. And he said, but you're creating jobs. What better thing you can do for other people than create jobs? I said, yeah, that's fine, but I need more. So finally I resigned, and he insisted me to stay. You're going to repent
Right.
on leaving this great international corporation and moving to a small community, to a farm.
Yes.
And I said, yes, that's where I belong. That's where I want to help people there, which are poor, which need support. So I resigned and moved to my third quarter. 16 years in family business, small businesses.
Was this on the same hacienda that you grew up on?
Yes.
Yeah, I read about that. That's crazy.
But I built my own home.
Okay.
And because the old hacienda home is now owned by the foundation.
Okay.
So I built a home there with my savings in my 16 years of work in Coca-Cola.
Right.
And in the company, they had the so-called stock options. And what it meant is that when you came in the company, the stock would have a specific value.
Right.
So the way you would make money is they freeze that price, and when you leave the company, whatever the price is, way up, because Coca-Cola's stock was moving
Right.
pretty good, and the difference is for you. So I got that money, it was my saving, and with that I built the home I have in the ranch, which is beautiful. One day you should visit it.
Well, you're being, that's very kind. You're being very humble, though. I can't imagine stock options were going down at any point, seeing as you increased sales by over 50% during your time as CEO. I read that. That's insane.
They used to split the stock option value. If it
Okay.
was worth $40, these splits will make double the amount of stock at double the price.
I see.
So I really got,
Yeah.
well,
wow.
I got enough to build that home.
Amazing. Yeah. I can't complain about that. I also really quickly, before we keep moving,
Yes.
because I'm so curious, you started off as a truck driver for
Yes.
Coca-Cola, right? I read that it took you just 11 years to get to the executive suite, which is the fastest that it's ever been in Latin American history.
Youngest.
So you're the youngest executive at 33 years old, correct?
Yes.
That's
I
incredible.
was president at 32 years old, to be exact.
That's crazy. So my first question about that is, when you first joined Coca-Cola, did you envision yourself going that far? How did you transfer yourself from the driving the Coca-Cola everywhere to the corporate world?
Well, it's when you decide to join the company, I said to myself, if I'm going to be working for Coca-Cola, I want to be president of Coca-Cola. Right from the beginning, that was my purpose. And same happened to me in politics. When I joined to be a congressman and move out of private business to political activities, I decided if I move here to politics, if I'm going to be a congressman, I'm going to be president of Mexico.
Wow.
So in life, a leader has to have a dream, has to
Yes.
think about the future.
100%.
And it's not only one thing for your whole life, which in my case, I do have it. It's that shortcut to happiness, doing for others. That's printed here in my head. So everything I decide, everything I do has to do with that long-term purpose.
I see.
But I had short-term purposes
Yes.
also. And in this case was to become president of the company.
Right.
And I was doing fine. I scaled up to about 60% of the year.
That's crazy.
I had remaining another 40% to reach to be CEO of the company and president.
Wow.
But I decided to resign. When they moved me from president of Latin America to go to Miami and have and lead that headquarter place. Later on, would be moving from Miami to Atlanta,
Wow. Okay.
home office of the Coca-Cola company. But I decided to stay in Mexico and decided to stay doing something very close to people to improve their possibilities in life. This is why I went back to the farm, small businesses. We had a manufacturing place to manufacture cowboy boots,
Oh my goodness.
Fox boots.
Yes.
It's
I read about the
disappeared
boots.
now. It's not there anymore, but we used to export a lot to the States. And let me tell you this incredible business experience. All of a sudden, because of this movie in New York, Cowboy, City Cowboy, or something like that, for the first time in the movie industry, there is a picture that is very strong on modern cowboys and the boots they would wear.
Right.
So that picture promoted the industry in an incredible way because it became fashion in Europe, in Paris.
Really?
In Paris.
Okay. I didn't
And
know
in
that.
Saint Honoré Street were the best boutiques of the world, referring to dress and shoes and everything. Our boots were right there, Fox boots, in
Right.
Honoré Street in Paris.
That's crazy.
And the business just exploded.
Oh my goodness.
But the business in France is fashion. And fashion changed in the seasons with the seasons of the year. So you have to have new products every 3 months.
Right.
And so they started developing colors, white boots, red boots, purple
For winter,
boots,
fall,
no colors,
yes.
which we were not used to it. So in Lyon, we had to develop the tanning industry to make leathers of different colors and
Wow.
different textures and different things so that we could make different boots. So we moved the whole industry from one product to many, many different products. And
I
this
see.
I learned in Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola made the big mistake to stay in the 6-ounce returnable bottle when Pepsi comes in with a 12-ounce bottle
Right.
at the same price. And he said, no, nothing will happen. We have the product, we have the 6-ounce bottle, and we're going to stay there. The president of the company stated that. Big mistake. We started losing market share, and we moved from 2-1 in favor of Coca-Cola when I joined the company to invert that and become 2 bottles of Coke for 1 of Pepsi.
Okay.
So, but it was the same thing. Let's move out to other products. Let's have different products. And so we came out with other flavors and other colors of drinks.
Yes.
So the same thing I did with the industry, the
boots?
Western boot industry, but there you couldn't ship so fast every
Right.
quarter. So we started accumulating inventories. We didn't get rid of them. We were almost broke, so I decided to go to Paris, and I was there for 2 years with my family, trying to get rid of huge inventories that we had there. Finally, a boot that we exported at $35 We ended up selling it in France at $2 a piece, and they didn't want it because it was not fashion.
Right.
So we had to sell it to Africa
Right. Oh my.
at $1.
What?
So we lost from 30 selling price to $1 getting rid of the product.
Oh my
Thousands
goodness.
of boots.
Wow. Okay, I had no idea about this story. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm more well versed in your trajectory from obviously your school life to your Coca-Cola, and then obviously you worked on Hacienda. And the one thing we haven't discussed, the big one, is your political career.
Fourth quarter,
Fourth quarter.
decided to move out of private business
Right.
in that same search for my purpose,
Mm.
my life purpose, do for others. And what better place to do that on politics, or maybe the only one that is greater than that is being a priest,
Right.
Catholic priest. So my mother would tell me, be a priest. Go. And I said, no, Mom, I don't like that.
Fair enough.
So the closest thing to that was politics. So I decided to move to politics in this fourth quarter. I ran for Congress, and I got the job. I was a congressman first. It's 3 years in Mexico,
Yes.
Congress. So at the second year, I decided to renounce to Congress and play it for governor.
Right.
So I became candidate for the governorship of Guanajuato. And there we started working hard. They made a big fraud on my first run. And so the election was annihilated because I went out to the street to show force and to force government and electoral institutions that there was a big fraud. We proved it, but they didn't want to change.
Oh my goodness.
So finally, I was not governor. I ran for a second time 3 years after, and I won 25% of the vote on that
Wow.
second run, and I became governor.
Oh my goodness.
6-year term. But I decided to renounce when I was on the fourth year and ran for president. So I ran for president, and I won. And I changed the system after 71 years of single one-party government into a real democracy, and this was from year 2000.
So this is a question I had, because this is, first off, very inspirational. And everyone that I've spoken to in Mexico about you, I've been like, hey guys, I'm going to interview Mr. President. They say, oh, you were a revolutionary in terms of not only the party you ran for, but how you ran. You were very popular amongst the people. So I must ask you, given the fact that you had previously been, the election, there was a fraudulent election before, and the fact that that party was incumbent for 71 years, what made you believe that against all odds you would be the first individual to be able to secure the nomination for your party?
Well, you have to trust yourself. You have to believe in your own capacities. And that's what I did when I decided to move out of governor. I said, I'm going to be president. And I believed it myself. And then that became my purpose.
I see.
I'm going to be president of Mexico. What for? And that's the first question anybody that goes into politics is first to ask yourself. What's what you want to do? Why you want to be president of Mexico? And again, my old slogan, because I want to do good for Mexican people. I want to improve education. I want to improve income and else and else. So I had very clear what I wanted to be president for. And that's what every leader has to ask himself. Why do you want to become or do this? CEO or marketing manager, whatever. And so I decided and moved into it. And it was not easy. 71 years of the same party running the nation. So the opposition that I had was incredibly difficult to overcome. But we did it. And we did it by calling people to action. And I got away of the profile of a president, very elegant dress very speech, which is very sophisticated, that nobody
Yes, and
understands what
plain.
they're
Yes,
saying.
100%.
So I decided to dress like a regular citizen, my cowboy boots,
Oh, wow.
my belt with a brand Fox here,
Yes.
and here's this cowboy coming to be president of Mexico. And started to speak people's language, the way people speak and talk. So people started saying, well, this is different. This guy is different. We don't know how much he knows about running a nation, but he's different.
Right.
And he's a Democrat. And he's a freedom
Right.
convicted. So I ran and I won on a very difficult situation. And that was my third quarter, becoming president, my fourth quarter, becoming president. And the day I won, I remember in Reforma Avenue, which is the Pennsylvania Avenue, or the best street in town, I asked myself, Jesus Christ, I did it.
What was that feeling
and
like?
now what I do?
Yeah, seriously, what did you realize that it was real? How long did that take for it to set in?
Well, the thing is that I did use a lot of marketing that I had learned in Coca-Cola. So a lot of marketing gave me the lead and gave me the tools to be able to win. But it's in a way I was not built or educated to be a president of Mexico. That was not something that I knew well. But I said, well, if I was president of the Coca-Cola company, this would not be very much different. So I started doing things in politics that had never been done, like, for instance, all my cabinet was chosen through head hunters. So head hunters for every position, I told them, in education, give me the best educator in Mexico. I want the best in that position to work as Secretary of Education. And so we did. They brought me three alternatives for each position of the 19 positions the cabinet had.
Yes.
And out of those three, I would elect. That sounded great, but the problem was salaries. The salaries I could offer in government were half or one-third of what they were making
in the
in
private
business
sector.
or in their own activities. But still, I got a great cabinet. I'm very proud of it, and it worked. It worked very good.
Well, first off, I know, like I said, we've talked about him many times, but Dr. Frank is an incredible individual. And you told me last night, I was lucky enough to see you at dinner last night, and you told me you met him through headhunting. But I'm curious, so you have all these candidates lined up, right? And you chose them, you had a team do that, which I work in headhunting, I have a company in that, so I know how important it is. I'm curious as to what do you think is the one underlying trait in every single one of your team members? Like, what is the non-negotiable trait you look for in a team member to know that they're going to be successful in their role?
Well, it was a general description of what I wanted, but it was stated in one phrase. I want the best.
Right.
I want the very best. So the head hunter starts looking for, and maybe they interview 20 candidates for the job.
Right.
And out of those 20, they bring in me 3.
I see.
Now, those 3, I would have long conversations with them, with the 3, and finally ended up selecting. What I was looking for, talent, yes. Compassion, absolute, yes.
Compassion.
Yes.
Interesting.
Love for others.
Yes.
Trump needs a little bit of compassion.
Yes.
Or a huge amount of compassion.
I understand where
You
you're
cannot
coming
go
from.
around killing people or just throwing them out of the country without even asking.
Yeah, certainly.
So compassion was very important to me, because usually public people in government usually are very sophisticated, very ego and selfish oriented, and they think they are the mother of Tarzan, the best thing they can be. And so I wanted humble people, thinking people, and humane and compassionate people. So those were the guidelines I gave to the search.
Yeah.
You just mentioned it, Julio Frank.
Yes.
I mean, he would have taken that job even without pay
Yes,
because
certainly.
he was so profoundly committed with health and with helping people with the right public policies in health.
Yes.
And he came with this fantastic idea of Seguro Popular. Because in Mexico, we had insurance for about 52% of the population.
Okay.
The other 40% did not have insurance programs at all. So they didn't have access to healthcare. So he came out with this policy, with this program, Seguro Popular, which is based on the public insurance companies, which make a very specific strategy so that the wealthy will pay for the poor. So you will charge more on that insurance policy to that people or person that has more. And you will charge much less to the people that don't have. And those that don't have anything, you give them free, the insurance policy. Number two, you make the young pay for the elderly. So the cost of the insurance for the young will be much higher than the cost of the insurance for the old.
Yes.
And the third thing that had to do there is those who have a permanent and fixed job will pay more than those who do not have. But really, government is not paying for that. So people is paying, and people is being compulsive, and people without even knowing are paying for the young, for the old.
I see.
And that was a fantastic policy for public access to health. And we covered from that 52% way up to 100%. Seguro Popular took families to be insured from the 52% of the population to 95% of the population. And the other 5% were covered by private insurance companies.
Okay.
So 100% in Mexico of people through that public Seguro Popular now are covered with access to a doctor, access to medicine, access to surgery, and access to retirement. 100% of Mexican people.
That's amazing.
It is.
Congratulations.
That's Julio's mind.
Yes.
It's fantastico.
You know, for me, I got to live with him through COVID, but I remember I reached out to him when I was 18. I just saw him, and I was always very much into approaching people, and I just said, President Frank, I'm sorry to bother you. And he took the time to meet with me several times. He's very kind and compassionate. You mentioned what you see in others, but I'm really curious. Other than being really hardworking and resilient, which you have to be in anything, but what do you think is the differentiating factor in you, the personality trait that allowed you to be as successful as you were in business, in corporate level, your own business, and of course in politics? What's the number one trait?
I would say number one, the reason why. Why do you want to get into Coca-Cola? Why do you want to be president of Coca-Cola or CEO? And if you know why, that will make a difference.
Right.
Those that will answer why and say, I want to make money. I want to have a Cadillac. I want to live in the best neighborhood of the city.
Right.
I want to be the big guy.
Yes.
Others, as we say, no. I want to be out of that position to help others, to create jobs, to create health insurance, to create highways, to create that will help people. So the way you answer that question, why do you want to be president of Mexico, will make the difference of how are you going to perform. So that would be a good way of setting this question that you're asking.
Yeah.
And of course, many other considerations, but it has to do basically with purpose. And purpose is a very profound thing.
Right.
And purpose, we have a quality given by God for us to be leaders and to be clear on our purpose in life. You want to be a priest, prepare for that, and ask yourself, why do you want to be a priest? You want to be a car racer. Why you want to be a car racer? And once you decide, yes, I want to be because I love it, it's a lot of stamina, it's a lot of energy that gives to you, okay, fine. That's enough for being a car racer. But then you want to say, I want to be the best, the number one car racer in the world. Always you have to have a higher purpose, a very heroic purpose. And your capacities, your mind, your resources multiply. You become like Superman.
Yes.
And if you reach there, then next one. What's next? I'm governor? Fine. Let's do a good job as governor. But immediately, I want to be president. I want to go higher.
Yes, you want to do the
And
best.
so always that high aspiration, that heroic aspiration will pull you up from where you are up to attain. It's incredible how we find out how powerful we are, how powerful is our mind, our brain, how powerful is the spirituality. Not a specific religion, but a spirituality brings you joy on what you do, brings you a reason why you do, and so on and on. So you have to administrate yourself, you have to program yourself, you have to plan yourself where you want to go. But my recommendation is try to go as high as possible.
And have a
and
reason.
Fight for it. Fight for it. Then perform.
Lucha.
Yes, lucha.
You know, I think I've always found that when you really just strive for the greatest and you repeat it through prayer, when you write it down, when you have all these things, and you really just believe the delusional in your life, you can. For example, my favorite CEO is the CEO of the UFC, Dana White. I love the story. And I put it out there several times that I was going to meet him. And this week I had a one-on-one conversation with him by just approaching him, pitching my business and all that. So I think you are absolutely right. I want to make sure that we're good on time. How much more time do we have?
Solamente 5 minutos
5
más
minutos.
para salir 11:30 de aquí.
Oh, perfecto, okay.
Levanta, ir al baño y nos vamos.
Gracias. Okay, perfecto, Doña Marta. Well, actually, my next question is about Doña Marta. I have a really, so behind every man is a very strong woman. That's what I truly
Not
believe.
behind.
Next to.
That's passed over.
Past tense. Fair
it's
enough.
by the side of.
By the side
many
of.
times ahead of us.
Right.
But go
That's
ahead.
true. That's a good point. Hey, my mom raised me, I get that. But my question is, the audience that we have are all really
Why
strong
Marta?
leaders. Pardon me?
Why Marta?
I want to know.
That's your question.
My question is going to be why Marta, and also what traits should people look for in their partners who have huge dreams? It's very difficult to balance your business life, your political life, with your love life. How do you know when is the right person?
Well, number one, and that helped a lot, we were both in politics, but on a different camino.
Okay.
And that's where we met. Working, Marta had become candidate for mayor in the city of Celaya. At the time, I was running for governor in the state of Guanajuato in the same party. So we met very frequently. So what happened there? It's number one, physically a beautiful presence of Marta.
Very important.
Beautiful, very refined lady. And I used to see her on the shoulder when she wore a dress that showed the solid. And my dream at that moment and what I wanted is to touch that shoulder and to, oh,
I get it.
Here it is. Then we had the aspirational and mind qualities, and there we also became twin souls. The same thing we wanted to make for Mexico, the same ideas of the PAN party we shared for Mexico. And so in a way, we became twin souls.
Right.
Same aspirations, same thinking, same purpose of doing for others. And that developed the relationship very strongly. And then we started campaigning for the presidency. So she forgot about Celaya, and I forgot about Guanajuato. We resigned.
Right.
And then she said, I want to go with you. I want to make sure that you become president of Mexico. She has great marketing talent, great planning capacities, and more so, maybe the main attribute is that she makes things happen, which this shoe brand, ¿cómo se llama? Los zapatos.
Fox boots.
Los meros buenos. The very good ones. Bueno, Nike.
Nike. Yeah.
So like Nike, do it.
Right.
And
She's an
Marta, you don't
executor.
have to tell her, do it.
Right.
She had done it before. So very, very good in operating. So we decided to campaign together. We went all around Mexico, and we were doing that shoulder, and other things I began to discover, which was how can we, being in different rooms, be together in the same hotel. And so when you have bodyguards and they're watching you all night, I don't know how Marta made it, but she made it to my room.
Oh.
So we start.
Don't say that.
Oh my God, this is perfect.
Finally, the relationship became real. And but there was a lot of complementary talent that we had. I had the long-term view, the strategy, the way of how doing things, but she would carry on doing them. And having the same thinking spirituality-wise, having the same thinking on politics in the country, in the nation, made us the best couple of pareja
I love that.
in performing. And she had a great capacity on marketing, planning, and specifically speaking for me. So the speaker of the pareja was her.
Right.
And we made it. Incredible. We made it.
That's amazing.
And when we made it, we said, oh, Jesus Christ, now what we do? Because campaigning is maybe the best and most amusing activity that you can have. It's challenging, it's fighting, it's going to the public square and speaking to people. It's energy, it's total energy all the time. And then about governing, that's different. Sitting on a desk and sitting on a chair in an office and deciding big things for Mexico and for Mexicans. Oh,
yeah,
that's complicated.
Very.
And so I decided one thing again. What the hell do you do sitting on an office when you have to run a nation?
Yes.
And so I got out of the office. 80% of the time as president was spent out of the office.
Really?
I would go to the office just to sign. So I reduced my signature. It was a big, large one. So I converted it. Fax.
Just like a line, boom, out of the door.
So that I would not lose time to perform and to do what I had to do, even in that detail. The second detail in that direction was you make speeches all day. They wake you up at 6 o'clock in the morning. President, wake up, dress. Okay, you dress. Take a bath. You take your bath. This is Estado Mayor.
Wow.
The bodyguards. And then he said, you have at 8 o'clock this meeting, you have breakfast with, then you go out and speak to, and then you move out and lunch is going to be with. And so they program all your day.
Wow.
So you have to get rid of that.
Yeah. So you
How
just...
can you keep your freedom and tell you what you're going to do every moment? So I got out of the office and I started visiting all Mexico again, which I had done it with Coca-Cola. And every community, every place, we would sleep with the indigenous people in Oaxaca or in Chihuahua at the Sierra up there. And we would visit these schools that kids, very poor kids in the mountains, they would have to walk for hours, 2-3 hours to reach the school. So finally, we put it places with shelter them here, so they could stay from Monday to Friday and go home on weekends. And we would sleep with them on those shelters. We would be with them. Big program that Martha created, bicycles.
Right.
And instead of walking, then they would have a bicycle to get to school much faster and so on. But being with people is the best way you can be president of a nation.
I love that. It's amazing. I know that we get to get you out of there. Thank you so much for your time. I really deeply appreciate you, Mr. President.
My
Seriously.
pleasure.
This was a true
And
honor.
you have a home there in San Cristobal, and I know now that I have home in Nashville.
in Nashville, Miami, Los Angeles. We'll make it happen.
We're going to go there.